The Prime Minister of Pakistan, Sharif, announced today that there had been a deal reached. Today being the 14th. It's still the 14th of June where I'm at. And it was followed up real fast by President Trump making the same claim. As y'all know, President Trump claimed a deal would be reached on the 14th, his birthday, which happens to be Flag Day, the anniversary of the U.S. Army. 251st anniversary of the U.S. Army, by the way. So this deal is, some people claim it's the end of the war. Maybe. But to be more precise, what it really is it's a deal to talk. It's a deal to negotiate. It's a deal to make a deal. Kind of like at NASA when we used to have meetings to plan having meetings, or meetings about meetings to plan, meetings to have meetings. Yeah, well, that's kind of the way the government operates a lot in a lot of ways. So the big question is, will it stick? What does it mean? There's a lot of big questions about this. So we have to figure this out. And quite frankly, I'm skeptical. And the reason I'm skeptical is because I understand where Iran's coming from. I understand what Iran really wants. I say Iran, I mean the IRGC, the mullahs that run Iran. Quite frankly, Iran is really a nation under occupation. It doesn't really represent the mullah government, the IRGC government. The hardliners do not really represent the people. Over 80% of the people in Iran would like to be rid of the government. And then you got people like the Baluchis over in southeastern Iran, who are a minority group who are extremely what's the word I'm trying to say? Discriminated against. And then you've got the Kurds up in northwestern Iran who have the same problems. And you've got, they repress women and all kind of people, Christians, the people of the Baha'i faith. Those people are in big trouble in that country. So there's a lot of issues within Iran. But the so-called hardliners, a lot of them in the IRGC, are protesting right now about this so-called peace deal. They're mad. They're calling it a surrender. They're calling the negotiators Aragachi a traitor. They're wanting these people to flee the country, to resign, or to start pushing daisies. And this is all the more reason you can think that there might be a problem, but it's deeper. I have shown y'all in a previous video. I went into great depth and talked about the faith of the mullahs, the 12er faith, about the faith held within the IRGC, this faith that they've got to export their revolution, that they have to try to bring about this 12th Imam crawling out of this well, out of his cave, whatever, supposedly a well. We have talked, I've even shown you that the export of the revolution is part of the Constitution of Iran. It's that deep. It's codified in their law of their land. This is not a trivial matter. And they've shown us just by how much pain they would endure during this war with the United States in order to retain and hold on to their highly enriched nuclear materials. They've gone through all kind of pain to hold on to that. And I'm not convinced they're going to give it up because, according to some Western sources, yeah, that's part of it. They're going to give it up. But, not necessarily according to the Iranians. So, or I should call them the mullahs, the IRGCs. Who do you refer to them as? The hardliners? They're all hardliners, all except the people themselves. So it's really hard to look at how you look at this fractured country that's Iran today, in which people are in the streets now protesting the peace deal. Not nearly as big as a protest against the mullahs, mind you, the IRGC and such. Not nearly as big, but still some intense little protests. And there's even been claims that some of the Iranian IRGC forces have fired on some of their IRGC. There's been talks about clashes with the police. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. Now, mind you, you can never take over a country with an air campaign. You can definitely degrade them, you can weaken them, but you can't take them over. That takes boots on the ground. Something the United States never had resolve to do. We've not even had resolve to do what we've done. You know, the old adage after the Vietnam War, the supposed lesson learned is you don't go to war unless you got the popular support of the people. And apparently that wasn't the case here. Over 60% of the people, and a lot of the MAGA crowd even, were totally dead set against this war. I was against us going into it, but not because I didn't think Iran didn't need to be contained, but mainly because I was concerned about overuse of munitions that we might need in a war with China. But once we went in, and once I saw just how hard the Mullah regime wanted to hold on these nuclear materials, the pain they would go through for that told me everything. That reinforced what I had known about their constitution, what I had known about their religion. That just showed me how deep that was. That showed me how fanatic they really are about these things. So it's nothing to take lightly. It's nothing to, like a lot of people to say, oh, it's nothing on. Well, I got 18 people watching. I think my channel's dead. Guys, I've had a hard time coming on here. I really do. It's tough for me. I have been just wiped out, tired all day, every day lately. So this is really tough for me to do. I can't stay as late. We're going to make it short tonight. I just can't do it. I'm not physically up to it. I am. My rooster's going at 4:30 in the morning. That's when I used to go to bed after doing these videos. You know, time to get everything processed. So, but let's get back into this. We got 22 watch. So if you're just joining, what I said is that the Prime Minister Sharif of Pakistan came out and announced that there was a peace deal, and Trump followed right behind it. Really, this is the signing of an MOU, apparently. I don't really know if Iran's actually signed it, but apparently the Pakistanis announced it first that the agreement to make an agreement had been reached. But this is a negotiation period. It will last, you know, some 60 days allegedly. What Iran excels in is delaying everything. What Iran excels in is obfuscation. What they excel in is cheating, because it's still in their goals, it's still in their religion, it's still in their constitution to export their revolution. And furthermore, what a lot of people don't really understand is that's why they've set up, that's why they created the Quds Forces. And the Quds Forces, part of the IRGC's mission, was to create proxies, so-called proxies. But another way to look at it is these proxies aren't really proxies. They are part of the Iranian revolution. The Houthis, especially Hezbollah, and even somewhat Hamas, especially Hezbollah, which has been exporting terrorism across several continents. A lot of people really are missing on that. They're missing that point. And that is why the Iranians were so insistent that there be a ceasefire with Lebanon, supposing, though Lebanon is not the one firing rockets at Israel. It's not the country of Lebanon. It's not the nation. It's Hezbollah. It just happens to be in Lebanon, acting independent of the government of Lebanon, because they don't respect the government of Lebanon. They are beholden to the mullahs in Iran. Ultimately, they are part of that. So you can't take that. You can't take that for granted. That's what it's really all about. And in fact, you could say that Hezbollah is more a part of the mullah regime than the people of Iran themselves. And you know, the deal they tried to get set up was that Israel, they called it with Lebanon. It's not Lebanon. Again, it's Hezbollah. That supposedly Israel couldn't attack Hezbollah. They had to stop, even though Hezbollah was firing constantly on them. Now, whether you take Israel's side and things or not, if somebody's fired at, to think that they got to stand down and not return fire, that's a pretty incredible thing. Now, they actually did stop their firing when Trump told them to at last. So, but how long can they hold that? And the fact that supposedly initially after this agreement was agreed to, Hezbollah actually fired missiles at Israel. This may be suggestive that Iran's trying to derail it. There are forces in Iran that indeed want to derail this thing. I'm going to show you some of that in a little bit. So this is what's happening, guys. Mary Green, how you doing? Stay encouraged. You have helped me a lot. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I'm having a tough time right now. I really am, guys. I got a new job and I can't afford to be sleepy all day. And that's the brain fog. And that's where I've been the last several days. Almost unable to function. Something's happening to me. I just can't push. Rooster crowing at 4:30 don't help. Sunlight coming in my window before 5 don't help. I put towels over all my windows and everything. I had bought tape, and I just found it tonight. My tape, I couldn't find this. Too late to put it up now. I got towels hanging over my windows upstairs to try to mitigate that. So, but I still have to get up about 6 in the morning. So it's tough. It's tough for me. And I'm spending about 2 hours a day in my garden. At a minimum, that's just watering. Planting is more time. Anyway, I do have a homestead. I am trying to get that going. It's part of what I am and what I'm doing. So, oh yeah, the new job. Our contract only lasts to the end of August. And apparently the mother company, Blue Origin, don't want subcontractors. So it may be a short-lived job. If I can hang on to it that long, if I don't get out of my mind defogged, I may have a problem with it. But if I can hold on to it that long, I can hopefully scrimp enough to get through a while. If I really scrimp, and I don't know, it's going to be tough. We'll just have to see. I have some challenges ahead of me here. In any event, guys. So let's, I'm just going to share and show you about 3 or 4 things. We're not going to go through every article in the world tonight. We're not going to go through a lot of stuff we're going to do because I'm going to call it a short night. So I have got to, I'm not even going to post a thumbnail because I'm operating off my desktop. I don't have all the files I have on my broken laptop over here, or the other broken laptop that's still in the shop. This laptop, it don't even work right. The one that I broke the screen on, I can't even use it right now. So I've got a lot of files. I just haven't transferred here. So I'm going to put up my normal thumbnail, all the text stuff. We're just not doing that tonight. And I don't have time to deal with this stuff. I'm wiped out. I think maybe Jesus would say something else, but you don't care for the truth. Now, what is wrong with you, Dreamus? Whatever your name is, Dream Rhesus, whatever. What the heck is wrong with you? Spit it out. Say it. Don't come here throwing stuff around there like that without backing it up. Back your rear end up if you're going to say junk like that to me. Back it up. What are you talking about? Anyway. All right. You're free to disagree with me, but I'm going to tell you something. You may have to defend yourself. All right. Oh, what happened here? I'm trying to pull up and share stuff. A tired man staying up late, and I ain't got time to listen to a bunch of bull crap. Pardon my language. I'm not in a good mood tonight. So let me come in here. Jesus isn't going to defend a religion whose set goal is to conquer the world. That is the goal of the mullahs. It's in their constitution. It's part of their faith. I've shown that in a previous video. I don't know where you're coming from, but if you don't accept that, then fight yourself. I don't care. I just don't care. I'm putting the truth out. If you don't want to hear it, then you got an issue. I'm not looking to chat. Ugh. All right, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to do a share screen. Give me a second. I got to pull all the right stuff up. Give me a second. So many people, so many nutty ideas out there. Hang on, guys. Share. It'll take me a second. I'm operating on a different computer right now. I'm just taking me a look to get everything set up. So share now. Here we are. This is what the Iranians are looking for. Breathing space to rebuild offensive and defensive combat power and prepare for the final full-scale battle. One of the things that I had pointed out to you guys before I went into the religion thing, before I went into their constitution, I made the case that this war was inevitable. It was going to happen sooner or later, and Trump just pushed the earlier button on it because at that point in time, Iran was weaker after the 12-day war. Apparently not weak enough, and if it went longer, it would have been worse. But this is from Tutsi TV. You guys ought to check them out sometimes. This is an Iranian guy who's living in Great Britain. He puts out a lot of interesting content about what's going on inside of Iran. Tutsi TV. You know, it's a very interesting channel, but this is part of what he put up on one of his shows here. Now, I'm not going to play his video. I don't want to risk a copyright strike. I'm giving him credit. Let's see. Oh, shoot. I'm having a hard time telling what to change it. Now, here are some of the protesters in Iran who are protesting against the deal just right before it was signed. And let's see, make this play with sound. I'm about to go back into my other screen, wherever that is. And I'm going to have to mute this. Okay. So I don't want sound overlaying sound. Now I can turn my sound on here. One of the problems with broadcasting from Zoom is it opens up a screen in another browser and it's always sound on, unless I turn the computer sound up. But then you hear all this echo. Zoom has got some issues. But anyway, I don't have time to recalibrate that at this point in time. My time is very tight. All right. Now I can play this, I believe. I believe we can hear these people. That's not very loud. Now, allegedly, the reason they're wearing these white shrouds over their black clothes is that's a statement of their burial shroud. It'd be buried in white. And that's a statement they're willing to fight to the death and die for the regime. Now, notice these guys are protesting, but this isn't the tens of thousands that were protesting against the regime. This is what, maybe 2 or 3 dozen people, but there are more than one of these protests. So there's several of those going on. What's this? There you go. Yeah, you don't need to hear the whole thing or see the whole thing. This is some of the analysis on the whole thing. Hardliners and Mashad shouting, "Death to Araghchi." He's the foreign minister of Iran, the government of Iran. So there you sit. There's a lot of stuff in here to protest. Death to Araghchi. I'll show you a few of these. There's no point in playing every one of them. But you can see this is happening in Iran. There are the hardliners who definitely want to keep it the way it was. So that is a challenge to what we've been talking about here. I mean, this peace deal. And this, I'm not going to play it. That's supposedly an attack. Yeah, I can get banned from YouTube or get a strike. I'll play that video. That was where apparently IRG forces were attacking with gunfire other IRGC people. I don't know, guys. One thing you can do to help yourself and help me get away from all the contaminated products that you get where 12 companies control over 550 brands is come here to switchwithgreg.com. We've got none of that corporate stuff. We got American-owned family or products that are non-toxic made here in the USA. I've done some videos on these toxicities. You have to watch those. You can fill out this form and submit it. Go straight to me and my helper, Lisa, who will contact you and bring you aboard if you're interested in getting away from all these nasty products that's out there in the world. They're supporting the House of Klaus. Anyway, I'm stopped share. Like I said, I'm not doing a zillion articles tonight. I can't do it. I just can't do it. We're gonna have to wrap up here in a little bit. Let me reopen the chat room here. Okay. Extremists, Iran is racist, like its enemy Israel. Hey, I don't disagree with that. That's what I was trying to make a point of earlier, talking about how they would attack the Balochistans, how they would attack the Kurds, how they were against the Baha'i. That's what I was talking about, Dream Rhesus. I hope I said that right. That's what I was trying to bring home. And in fact, most countries in this world are racist. The Chinese are racist. The Japanese are racist. And I'm not saying that's a good thing by any stretch of the imagination. So, but what I am pointing out to you, I'm not taking sides with them. What I'm telling you is that this whole thing that we're dealing with Iran is something we would have had to deal with anyway, eventually, somewhere down the road. Maybe when we had a lot smaller advantage than we've had this time. And if the regime stands, we will have to deal with them again. Peace deal or no peace deal, at some point in time, that's when it raises its ugly head all over again. So that's what I worry about. That's the thing that has, that's the message that I wanted to bring to you guys, is that sooner or later, we will have to deal with this stuff. We would have to deal with it all over. Well, thank you, Carol. We'll have to deal with it. That is the main message of this video. Now, there is some hope. We know that Trump tried to get arms in the hands of the original protesters. I think this is what he was banking in while we went in. I said, you don't take over a country with an air campaign. You can have boots on the ground. It's nothing that the United States was prepared to do. The United States had hoped that the protesters could handle that, but they were basically unarmed. He sent weapons. He tried to send them to the Kurds, but the Kurds decided he wanted the weapons from themselves. They kept them. But apparently there's been some other avenues, and weapons are slipping into the protesters. So it could happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I see a lot of other people on YouTube saying, well, the Iranian regime is going to fall. If we give them too much in this peace deal, they may not. But I would say, yeah, they're definitely they're in a precarious situation. 80% of the country hates them, but they do have the arms. So I would give it maybe a little better, 40% chance that they might fall. I hope they do, for the sake of the people in Iran. I really hope that regime falls for the sake of the people there. So just maybe enough damage has been done to the RGC, and maybe they're getting enough weapons that they could pull it off. I hope for their sake that it happens. Do you think we should have invaded Iran when we invaded Iraq several years? I don't think we should have invaded Iraq. I think it was the biggest tactical mistake or strategic mistake the United States made. We did it for the ego of George W. Bush, because they threatened his dad more than anything else. But Saddam Hussein was the counterforce to Iran. When his power evaporated, that enabled, because most of Iraq was actually Shia, that enabled the Iranians to set up what we were afraid to do, what we call the Shia Crescent, where they had Shias to Iran and Iraq and up into Syria and down into Lebanon. So that gave them a huge power advantage. We had them kind of loggered against each other for a long time, and that kept Iran in check, and it kept Iraq in check. And that final takedown of Iraq, I think, was a serious strategic mistake. Okay, dream races. Many liars and you Americans are with Trump. Conditionally, I take it you're not in the United States. Where are you from, dream races? I'm just telling you where from Iran comes in this stuff. And something else I've suggested is that there's nothing holy about the setup of Israel, especially considered it was orchestrated by the Rothschilds. And if you need the name of the street around Knesset, that's named after the family that paid for all the government buildings there, the Rothschilds. Now, if you think the Rothschilds act on behalf of God, if you think that's where the Rothschilds come from, put a one in the chat room. Let's see. If you don't think the Rothschilds act at the behest of God, put a two in the chat room. I'd like to know what y'all think about the Rothschilds. So that's a problem. A lot of people come in, and the worst nightmare in America is Trump Canada. Trump Canada, I don't know what you mean there. A lot of people, when you see a conservative, they automatically assume a ton of things. And you need to check some of that at the door. Yeah, I am conservative. But I would think for myself. Hey, Chewy. All right, so far I'm not seeing a lot of faith in the Rothschilds. Yes. And there was a certain ship. They had a name that was synonymous with freedom, except it starts with L. You're from Canada? Okay. So, yeah, we get people in here from Canada. I got some regulars. They're not in here now. We only got 49 in here tonight. Yeah, I got it. Canada. I assume that's what you meant for 10. All right, guys. We're going to wrap it up here tonight. We're going to wrap it up right now. Why I only got 51. I only got about a quarter of what I normally get in this chat room. Guys, I do run a homestead. I got chickens. One of the little things we'd like to do, a feature of my channel, my videos toward the end when I do a live session is guess how many eggs. There you go, Patrick. Amen. The Rothschild is red shield, and I think the red is the devil. Personally, I got no faith in them. And they're highly connected with the city of London. So, Shady 58, Soul Rider 51, like in Area 51. All right, folks. Are you guessing eggs? All righty, folks. How many eggs did I harvest my hens today? Go guess. Oh, shoot. We got a right guess right off the bat. Shady Shoulder. Or Shady 58. Soul Rider, pardon me. All right. We got the right guess right off the bat at 6, which is, I hadn't had 6 eggs until today in like 2 or 3 weeks. My hens are really slacked off on the eggs. I think it's just too hot over there where they're at. I got to come up with some shade and ventilation for the little hen house. And it's going to be after Friday before I do it because I've done spent all my last paycheck just trying to get bite mulch and stuff from my garden. Anyway, never have. I never have I. Is that what you meant? Yep, you got it 6. But how many of the 6 are Easter eggs? Now, there's an answer. Oh, we got somebody anticipating and trying to guess. How many of the 6 eggs are Easter eggs? I did have 3 the other day, but not today. 2. Well, Shady, you got that one too. You're on a roll tonight. You're the one getting all the guesses. All right, time to show the eggs. Here they are. You see them? 6 eggs and a 2 on the end. I usually put them on the end of the Easter eggs. There we are. 6 eggs, 2 Easter eggs. All right. Kabbalah art. All right. My hands have slacked off a little too. It's the heat. Yeah, I think that's what it is. The heat. I've got to ventilate their shed, and I got to get some kind of shade cloth to put over the chicken run. And I don't have the money to buy it right now. I just got to wait till Friday, my next paycheck. Because I used to spend this whole paycheck. I had some car problems. I bought a big 25 cubic yard load of black straight mulch, which is what I need to grow stuff in my garden. And I'm also using that in my worm beds. I've got to start from the beginning. Okay. Yeah, if you're just joining, go back and catch it on the rewind. We got 15 in here. I'm coming in here a little earlier and I'm going shorter tonight. I just don't have the fuel in me to go long, guys. Yeah, it's just something just kicking my keister lately. I'm staying brain fog tired all day. I had a lot of goals this weekend and I just couldn't do them. I was just too tired. That's not like me. That's not at all like me. But then again, there's just the sun coming in my window early in the morning. My rooster crowing at 4:30. Actually starts before 4:30. Kicking my keister. Anyway, guys, we're going to call it a night. I wish I lived in the country. I want chickens. Well, there is some land out here that's still pretty cheap. It's not as cheap as when I bought it by a long shot. It's going up fast. Prices out here are going up fast. I mean, land has cost more right now than it did 6 months ago out here. I was really surprised. I went back and checked some of the prices. I was like, good golly, it's going up real quick. But you can still get some good deals out here, a lot cheaper than a lot of other places. But you've got to do differently out here for gardening, especially. A lot of people have livestock out here. The gardening's a challenge. I'm working it. I'm doing some experiments. I wanted to do a video on it. Time I spend 2 hours watering everything, it's already dark. I'm coming in at dark from my chores. I don't want to start watering too early because everything will evaporate. I watched real heavy rain just south of me pass through. Oh yeah, I got 6 inches of rain today. 6 inches. One raindrop every 6 inches apart. Raindrop here, a raindrop over here. Or every 6 inches apart, a raindrop. That's 6 inches of rain here. All righty, guys, I'm going to call it a night. We're going to call it a night. I got to hit the hay. Hey, Rodney, how you doing, buddy? Haven't seen you in a while. Well, thank you for dropping in and saying hi. We got Carrie Johnson in the house. Appreciate that. Let's see if anybody's thrown me a super chat through my donation through my website. Hang on before we go. If there's any credit to be given, I'd like to give it. Yeah. Well, it's a sales thing. Sales mails. Anyway, sorry you've been busy. Well, me too, Rodney. That's one reason I've not been on here. 2 hours of tending chickens every day and garden. That's just the watering part, not the planting part. And I got a lot of planting to do still. So, but I do have things sprouting up. I need to do a video on the garden. I did one. I didn't post it because I had a recommendation that putting gardening videos up was confusing the algorithms and messing me up on YouTube. Right now, my views are down so far. It's like nothing. But yeah, that and sun coming up early, my rooster's crowing at 4:30 in the morning when I'm usually going to bed. I can't do it. I have been wiped out all week. And I got to get my mind clear, son. Hold on to my job, hopefully for at least a couple more months. All right, folks. Thank you, mods, for keeping the channel clean. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We're calling it a night right now. And the one and all, a good night, good day.